Going over IRS Notice CP567. This is the Internal Revenue Service notice that you might receive if the IRS rejected your application for an ITIN, Individual Taxpayer Identification Number. So we'll go over this. We'll go over the associated web page where you can get more guidance on what this means to you. What I want to do first, though, is go over a couple of key pieces of information that are at the top of the notice that might be important to you. So in the upper right-hand corner, you'll see the notice number. This is the 567 notice. So if you need to talk to the IRS about something, that's kind of what you're referencing. The notice date, so in this case, January 26, 2017. If there's some sort of action that you need to take, then this date might be important. I don't think that there's anything in this case, but generally it's a good standard practice to keep in mind what the notice date is in case there is something that the IRS needs you to do, like so, and just for your own tax records. Contact phone numbers, both for toll-free number in the United States as well as an international number, and then your date of birth or the applicant's date of birth. Over here on the left-hand side, you'll see the name and address fields. So generally speaking, it's a good standard practice to keep your address up to date in the IRS records. That way your correspondence goes directly to you and you can take action when appropriate. So if your address isn't up to date, you can call the IRS and change your address, or you can file the official change of address form. That's IRS Form 8822 for individual taxpayers and families, IRS Form 8822-B for business owners. So let's take a closer look at what this means. So the IRS rejected your application for an ITIN because in this case, the IRS records show that they've already assigned you an ITIN. So it should be a 9-digit number, should look very close, almost like a Social Security number, but it's different in that this is for tax identification purposes only. So what you would need to do in this case is use this tax ID number that's already been assigned by the IRS when filing your tax return. If you previously used a different ITIN to file your tax return, then you should contact the IRS to sort through that. And then there's additional information here. So you can either go to the IRS website and type in ITIN. You can pull up any of these forms or publications. We'll put links in the show notes to the resources we've created on any forms mentioned here. So the 8822 forms, as well as the W7 forms. So I'm going to take us to the IRS webpage where we can see if there's more information here. So in this case, it says you might not be eligible for an ITIN. Your documents may be invalid. The IRS may not have received a reply. For example, I recently did a video, CP Notice 566. That's a notice you might receive if you needed additional documentation. So my guess is if you don't respond to that notice in a timely manner, then you might receive IRS Notice CP 567. So in this scenario, it turned out that the applicant already had a tax ID number, so that's why the IRS rejected that application. But it could be because maybe you qualify for a Social Security number instead. And instead of filing Form W7, you should be filing Form SS5 to apply for a Social Security number. So you can make sure your documents are correct, send the IRS the information they request, or you might have to send a new application, completely fill it out, answer all the questions thoroughly, attach the correct documentation, and then attach copies of your tax return. And then here's some frequently asked questions. What is an ITIN? Who needs one? And then finally, there's links to other helpful information. So these publications were mentioned in the notice, but here are actual links when you go to the IRS webpage. So this is decent information. If you really need to drill down to figure out how to, correct this issue, there should be plenty of resources for you to do just that. And that's basically it for this notice. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. So the IRS rejected your ITIN. First thing you should do is understand the reason why and whether or not you need to take action, and then direct yourself to the resources to take that appropriate action. So as I mentioned, we'll put links in the show notes to resources that we've created about forms and mentioned in this video. So if you like our articles, please subscribe to our newsletter. And if you like our YouTube videos, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. And as always, if there's a question or a comment that you have, post in the show notes. If you have an idea for an upcoming video, please post that in the show notes. And if there's anything that I can do, please hit me up in the comment section. Thank you very much and have a great day.